Fella.
My man.
He's back, boys. He's back.
Back at it.
He's a land developer. He's a content creator. I don't know what else the fuck he's doing, but he's raising 2 kids. He's doing it all. We're going to get into that Uppy world, but welcome back, fella.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah. I appreciate the land developer part. I've been to Costa Rica one time, but this was more of a little getaway trip. I
spelled Costa Rica wrong in the group text when I was trying to chirp you. I called it Costa Rico.
That's okay. Rico Suave. I was quickly reminded on this trip, the first afternoon I got there, that this was the first trip I'd ever taken Christina on one-on-one.
How'd that go? You still married her?
Yeah, things are great, but it was, I kind of had to question that statement. I'm like, what? The only time? Like, I always go with you. I always want other people there.
You're not trying to have another kid, are you? You didn't go down there to have another kid, are you?
No. I mean, maybe practice a little bit, but definitely not, fella.
Yeah. It's nice to get away one-on-one every now. You guys do often do your trips with the whole group of you guys. You guys go couple heavy. Was it nice just to have you two kind of chilling? Or?
Yeah, I mean, it was chill.
You have to put up with little nonsense in the fucking trip, you know?
Oh, that's for damn sure. This restaurant, that restaurant, this drink, that drink, which I love. But no, this is great. Beautiful little area, quiet spot. We can get into that.
Yeah, we'll save it for Uppy's World. Listen, we're sitting here September 19th. Maxie, Alex, what's up, fella? Uppy, tomorrow's the worst day of the year for National Leaguers. Folks, you want to be a National Leaguer? Tomorrow you don't want to be. You got to get up fucking early, which is brutal. Then you got to go in there and do the full physical. You can't eat. You got to get the blood work. You got to get everything done. You got to see. I mean, how many stations do you got to stop and see? And you remember the fucking eye drops they put in your eyes?
I do.
It wasn't like the Visine when you're baked and it's like, oh, that feels good. These fucking drops go in there. And it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's to see right to the cornea.
Yeah.
Listen, I'd like to say, Obi, since we've left the game, and it's only been 5-6 years.
Is that it?
Yeah, I think so.
It feels longer.
But I think since then, they definitely like space things out now, right? Like the medical part, which you're talking about, which is like, the little metal thing on your knee, they grab your balls and cough, they put the fucking eye drops in, read the letters.
The STD test. Remember they're like, do you want to get the HIV STD test? I'm like, fuck, I had a pretty good summer. I don't know if I do or not, but yeah, sure, why not? It's a long couple of weeks, eh? You wait for the results. You're like, fuck, I hope I dodged the bullet here.
So you'd hope to think that that's taking place on a day that's not the fitness test day, because it was brutal. You couldn't eat because you had to fast for your blood, and then you go in and it's like, get on that damn Wingate, get on that VO2 test, plug your nose, breathe here, do this, squat that, do how many fucking pull-ups you can. It's a little bit of a mess.
It's a big time mess. And you're right. And I think even near the end of your career, maybe the tail end of mine, veterans could do the fitness testing a couple weeks before. So that helps tremendously. Like I said, I went to Getzlav's golf tournament a couple weekends ago and was talking to Gibby and Sam Carrick and Henrik. And they were like, we're doing the fitness testing like Tuesday. We're going to get it all done with. So that helps. But for me, the first station I went to, I didn't care where they put me. Like, they say, oh, you got to start here. I went right to the fucking weigh-in right away.
Oh, nice.
Then try to bribe the guy, right? Like, he'd be like, 234. I said, fella, listen, how many games do you want to go to this year? You mark down 230. I'll give you, what do you want? 10 season tickets?
You would bribe with the
I
tickets?
would 100%. Hey, buddy, mark her down 230. Let's call her straight.
And if it was a young kid, I got season tickets, like I'm the doctor of the team.
No, but it wasn't doctors of the team. It was always
these volunteers. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough to bribe the doctor. Yeah, it's tough. But these guys were volunteers, like, especially in Vancouver, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Totally.
These
hot ticket.
These UBC guys would come in and I'd be like, weigh in at 233. I say, fella, pick a game, mark down 230. You tell me what night, meet you out after for some cocktails. 230.
Yeah, I forget which one. I think I'd go to like the stretching one, like the monitor, like the body movement. Yeah. It was a bunch of those little tests where you had to like do hip flexor tests. How low can you squat?
Brutal.
Can you touch
Remember you had to put the thing and put your leg over the other one?
Yeah.
Put your leg over the other one.
Hip openers.
I'm like, I don't even got any flex all on my hips here. Let me get the flex all going.
And too bad there wasn't just a massage station right off the hop. It'd go right to there.
No kidding. And then for me, right to body fat. And just pray to God, that somehow it would be under 11%.
11?
Well, that's usually what it was, right? If you're over 11, you're usually in trouble.
Yeah. What was yours? What was like
I was hovering. Hovering right around
like
11.
What was your like early 20s, mid 20s when you were?
I think the leanest I ever came into camp was for Camp Tortorella, because I knew he had this fucking 3-mile run. Yeah.
Yeah.
Torts. makes us do a Torch, I love you, but makes us do a 3-mile run in Tampa at 2:00 in the afternoon. It's 100 fucking degrees. The humidity's 110.
Yep.
Anyways, I think I came in at like 8% body fat that year.
That's pretty damn good.
228 I weighed in it.
I always tried to get up to like 6. I was like 3, 4. And for years, they're like, you got to put more weight on. Like this guy, Nemo, was our trainer in Nashville. Do you remember Nemo? You had Dave Good when you were.
I had Dave Good.
So Nemo was like their first trainer ever, who was he's a bodybuilder. And then he went to Washington. I think he might still be there. But he was like, you got to toughen up. You got to get bigger. You got to bulk up. All the stuff that you used to hear. And I could never come into camp higher than like 4% body fat. There's no chance.
Yeah.
Toughest training camp? Probably Johnny Stevens in Philly.
Really?
We used to have to run around this track. We did do a 3-kilometer run in the heat, like Philly's hot. And that Braden Coburn would just fly around the track and like lap guys.
He had long legs.
But it was like you had to run, and running sucks. I mean, if they're running on a track the day before training camp, so we'd have to do that one day. The next day, do the beep test.
Oh,
and then the day after that's like get into practice where you're balls to the wall. I mean, that takes years off your career.
Fuck yeah, that beep test. I'll tell you what. Like you start off, you're like, all right, beep
down, back
beep.
to the beep.
You're like, this
down,
isn't bad.
Back.
Then all of a sudden, it's like beep, 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 beep,
and
you're done. You'll never guess this, but the best runner in Tampa my year there was Nick Tarnasky.
Wow.
Fucking flying. And you wouldn't have thought it. Bigger, Alberta, meat stick. I love Tarno, but he was flying around that track. Flying.
Oh, yeah, it was never.
I'm watching. And
I was quick, but never long distance.
No, and Torch was great. I mean, Torch's first 3 days were the hardest of any training camp I've been to. But after the first 3 days, right into systems, right into chilling, tons of days off. He just wanted to make sure you're in shape. But I'm watching like Vinny LeCavier and Marty St. Louis and Brad Richards run this 3-mile run. And I'm thinking, why? Like,
I need these guys on the half wall.
Yeah, like
I need these guys in April. I don't need them right now in September.
God forbid, fucking Marty pulled a hammy or something like that. Like
those fucking legs he's got, by the way. Huh?
Oh man, crazy.
What was he doing?
More than we were doing.
He wasn't
in the sprinter van going to Hollywood every fucking weekend. I can tell you.
He wasn't missing like that. He was getting parallel on those squats too, wasn't he? And never missing deadlift day.
No,
right?
Speaking of deadlifts, did you see Kirill the Thrill Kaprizov fucking squat? Like, why? I still ask why you put that much on your back. Why? If I'm Billy Gear and I see that video, I text him and say, hey, don't ever put that on your fucking back again. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
But those Russians, maybe, right? That's how they train.
He comes from the woods, it looks like, right? He comes from, like, he'd probably be carrying around logs on his back, like in the summer, wrestling bears, that sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
And then now he gets like with a couple barbells on there, and he's like, all right, this is good.
Yeah,
but look at the way he plays, and he's strong, tough, hard to like.
I know. Like, I'm just saying, he's like, put an extra plate on there, and he just goes down and something goes. Yeah. I'm not. If I'm Billy Garrett, I'm like, dude, I know you're in shape.
Yeah,
there's got to be a way we can keep your strength up without you putting 400 pounds on the back of your back, basically, right?
Yeah, he's ready for it though. It leads up to that.
He does.
If he's not missing leg day like you and me, if he stays out all weekend and then shows up Monday and does that, there's a big issue. But if he's just like on point with the proper, like, I get it. Like, I mean, you got to the point too where you're like, I don't need to fucking squat like this to stay fast, stay lean, to be able to play, right? Yeah. But these guys, they want to have an advantage. The advantage to this guy is that he's a beast.
Yeah, he's a beast. I mean, we've talked about this and you know, whatever. I trained because you had to train, and I didn't love it. I mean, we made it fun. Me, Loops, and Brookie. Shout out to Sean Skay and training with Shaker. We always had fun workouts, and we did it. But and if this has nothing to do with Sean Skay and any strength coach I had back in the day, like some of the things we did, I was like, is that really helping my career, or was that, you know, I don't know. I just don't know. I wouldn't be putting that much weight on my back if I was Kirill Kaprizov. I don't know. Maybe he needs that to carry his wallet around. Maybe he's like, well, I can barely get legs in here. I can't carry my wallet, for fuck's sakes. But what was the one test you would always, as your career went on, the one test you would use your veteran credentials or veteran status to be like, I'm not doing that one?
Ooh.
Do you want me to go first while you think about it?
Yeah. Sure.
Mine's easy. Pull-ups.
Pull-ups.
Yeah. Bad wing. Can't do it. Got a bad shoulder.
Yeah. Towards the end of my career, it was pull-ups.
Got a bad shoulder.
I had no fucking bicep tendon on my shoulder.
Yeah. Separated my shoulder in Vancouver, and ever since then I went, separated my shoulder. Yeah. Check the logs.
Yeah.
Check the team history.
It was always pretty good, though. I got to be honest. Pull-ups, no problem getting 15, 16.
But 20. Listen, the pull-up test is like, I mean, obviously you're going to do better than me. right? Like, was it really like an accurate and push up and bench press? I would probably do better than you. I weigh more than you.
Totally.
So if we did 225 benching, I'm going to do more than you
100%.
reps.
I probably wouldn't even move that. I would not move 225.
You're going to do more pull-ups to me. So what the fuck was that test all about?
I think they use the factor.
Factor?
The fact daddy. No, they factor in weight to weight. And then they give you a ratio. You know how these fucking statistics work.
What was worse, the VO2 or the wind gate?
For me, it was VO2, which is, to the listeners, longer. It's like 10, 12 minutes of just heavy weight.
Max, do you know what a VO2 is? Where they plug your nose and you're breathing. You're just a mouth breather like me nowadays. You just breathe through your mouth, and they just gradually, right up, dog, put more and more on, and you can't breathe out of your nose, and it's just all about your lung capacity.
Yeah. So, and then as it went on, it turned into an assault bike test, which is this. The assault bike's this one, right? It's a fan bike.
Yeah, did you see the video of this like soccer team that's doing their preseason workouts? It might have been hockey.
Yeah.
And they've got two guys with the fan bikes on either side, and they have a yoga pad that's a roller in the middle.
Yeah.
And they do the fan, and you have to push it with the fan to the other guy.
Oh yeah, I could see that happening.
I just saw that video yesterday. I think it's
this bike
should be outlawed.
I think it's the 300 cal ride, and it's fucking crazy. But you got to get it done in under 12 minutes, and that's a steady push of like 78 to 80 RPMs consistently. And if you drop for like a minute, you need to know that you need to go harder for a minute. And it's, I mean, hard. I don't care who you are. It was tough.
That bike should be outlawed. That was Bob Hartley's. If you have a lower body injury or any injury, actually, you got to get on that fucking stupid thing. Or if you're a healthy scratch, I was on that thing every fucking day.
How about the white Cybex bike?
Which one's that?
That was the one with the weights. That's the wind gate.
Yeah, the white and blue ones.
Oh, they count down from 10.
Sean Thornton just
destroyed
that bike.
I know.
Fucking pedals, fucking handlebars. I was up next. I'm like, holy fuck, Thorny. These tests, if you did these tests at the end of the regular season when you were getting ready to go in the playoffs, not one guy on your team could fucking do them, right? So why are they so important at the start of the year?
To show you kind of, did a couple sit-ups and you're ready to go.
Yeah, but you
want to show you can. They're just like your competition. Like you want to compete and be better than you were last year in strength and flexibility and mobility and all this garbage.
Sounds really fucking nerdy.
No, but training
sounds really nerdy to me.
I mean,
you got to be
come such a long way, right?
No, but Uppy, listen. You get into fucking, like, for example, who was the big boy in Florida that took my job? Olsen.
Oh yeah. See,
first day of training camp, you didn't need to put him on a bike. He went out and skated. I'm like, that fucking guy's not in shape.
Yeah.
So to me, looking back, you had to train, because if you didn't train, you would come in and you would be that guy in training camp that doesn't look good, and you would know right away. So I think it was more just the scare factor to make sure that you knew you came to training camp, you have to do this stuff, right?
Yeah, who knows? Maybe in a couple of years there's no testing.
There should be no testing. So they almost had a standardized testing in our era. And Brian Burke jumped on the call, I guess. The story goes, and Burke, he was like, no fucking way we could. I already got a guy on my team right now that doesn't want to work out. If you standardize the testing or get rid of testing, what's he going to do? And I'm pretty sure he's talking about Phil, but we were this close, I think, during the last lockout to getting either no testing or just standardized, like, little testing for every team, the same thing. And Berkey, I think, said,
Old thrill. Kiboshed it.
Did I tell you I flipped on the other day? This is when you're in the dog days of August when you're looking for something to watch. But it was the 2013 Game 7 Leafs Bruins. First period, Loops was fucking flying.
I know he was. He was flying back.
He got a
whole playoff.
He got a fucking little puck up. He batted it up to him, went around the fucking D-man, took it to the net, fucking post, draw a penalty. I was like, look at Loops go.
Yeah.
Look at him go. Young legs, but I had to turn it off. I can only watch a little bit of it because obviously we know how it finished, but he was buzzing.
He was buzzing. Did he end up watching it?
I don't know if I think I did let him know. I said, hey, if you want. And he was like, I don't want to watch that again. He was obviously.
If you watch anything, watch the first period.
He was buzzing.
I know.
He was buzzing.
Don't watch the third.
Cody Franzen had a tough turnover in the first. They tried to hit the guy in the middle. The guy picked it off, and they went in and scored. I was like, oh, Franny, baby. Keep her simple.
Yeah, I know. He had a good little career, though.
Best snapshot in the league. Best snapshot from the point to tip that I ever played with Cody Franzen. Pull and drag this high at your knee. Best. I told Loops.
Chemo Teeman had the best one for me.
I said, Loops, when Franny gets to Toronto, go and practice and work with them. And I'm telling him, Loops is like, fuck, Hopes, you're right. These pucks are flat.
Yeah.
And you can just tip them perfectly. So
knee high.
Good luck to the boys at fitness testing. The vets are done, but tomorrow's a long day for those lads. I don't miss that. Fantasy football, real quick. Larry Bettman's league. I took it on the chin. I got smoked. See, this is why last week when Rogers went down, I got Hall and Cook as my running backs. So I figured, fuck. And sure enough, the Cowboys dismantled them. They got negative points for me. My 2 running backs got negative points for me.
That's insane.
And Jacobs had 7 points.
I got a D+ on my matchup recap against the Bumper Trumpers.
You have a. How do you do that?
Yeah, it's on there. It's they send you a recap every Tuesday. In a battle of grades, Bumper Trumpers are an A+. Come out on top with a score of 131. And the fuck machine hut in the dust. Disappointing D+ with a score of 109. The win was sealed on Sunday, but it was clear from the start. It's a nice little news article here. But by the way,
where do you get that?
I didn't fucking...
Where do you get that?
My mom's going to hate that I'm swearing again. I didn't start my starting running back. They got Olsen from Green Bay.
You're down there moving some land around.
Olsen? Give me a minute.
Aaron Jones?
Yeah,
Jones
Jones.
was benched. He was
Yeah,
hurt.
benched.
Injured.
I didn't get that. So, by the way, I'm going on a hike Sunday morning, and it's 11 a.m. on the dot, and I go on to check it out, and I missed it by about 30 seconds, and then it wouldn't let me put it in. And then, of course,
Sounds a lot like Top Titty, doesn't it, Maxie?
Yeah.
Sounds a lot like Top Titty.
I feel like I've heard that before.
I lose by 11, and
you deserve to lose.
Bob's your uncle.
And you deserve to lose. I need to make a trade. I'm looking for a wide receiver.
Josh Allen was great. Jefferson was...
When you're missing setting your lineup because you're in Costa Rica, I don't know how much sympathy you're getting.
Yeah.
No, I know.
Thank you, Max. Thank you, Max. Way to keep him honest.
What are you looking for?
The Bills was a lock. I hammered the Bills. Did you take the Bills? Wow, I thought you would have taken the Bills.
Of course I would have, but I was out to lunch.
You're hiking.
Yeah, I was out to lunch.
No service down there in those down in Costa Rica.
Those
I had a
rainforests.
rough Saturday night, so in the gambling department. That's why I was a little upset Sunday morning.
So you teed me up into my next segment here, the little DraftKings gambling segment here. First of all, you're not the only one that's quit gambling or trying to quit gambling. Phil Mickelson came out with a statement that he's done. He's
done.
like, basically, it was taking over my life. I wasn't president of my, so Phil, good for you. I just don't believe him. I got to be honest. I think he's going to find his way to get it in. But Updog's been for the fellas out there. Updog's been. He's been
teeter-tottered. I'm ice cold.
He's my business partner, my best buddy. It's been an emotional roller coaster for us. And I said, you can't quit, buddy. You got to just stay on there, work through it.
I think I got to work a new deal with DraftKings here just to maybe fill up the bank.
I think you could,
because I got cleared out.
So I told you, I said, before we went to bed on Saturday night, before you got up for your hike, I said, take the fucking Niners, hammer the Niners, hammer them, -7, hammer them. Well, Sean McVay and that fucking field goal. Are you kidding me with that field goal? Why?
I got an issue. I was watching that at a nice little bar in Tamarindo, Costa Rica, and I had already basically cashed in that bet. I was looking forward to the Sunday nighter, thinking like, okay, this is cash in the bank, lock city. Stafford goes down. They're down 10. He's done. It's fucking clock's ticking, and they put out their field goal unit on second down.
I know.
With 0 seconds left. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? That should be an investigation. I don't care. I don't believe the fucking points differentials at the end of the season. I don't believe that. That's what Lupul's trying to tell me.
Longer Texas. He's like, yeah, McVay had the under, or McVay had the line for sure. Just joking, obviously, but
no, he's not. He's serious.
Do points matter at the end of the football season?
No.
And listen, the Rams are not gonna have to worry about point differential because they're not going to be anywhere near the playoffs, in my opinion.
Although Stafford was slinging it, I give him credit. He's the best player on their team, and they don't even have Cup.
That tight end they have. What's his name? Max, help me out here.
He's got 16 catches in the two games. Oh, he's a wide reciever.
For the Rams?
Yeah.
It's like a Puka Nakua or something.
Yeah,
He's a receiver,
Yeah, receiver.
Nakua, he's been cleaning
broke
up.
The record.
Yeah.
He broke the NFL record first two games. He's got 17, I think, receptions.
Yeah.
They might want to cover him. Hey, someone get on him.
Anyway, that's bullshit. I hope the NFL looks into that. My bookie texts me and says that you can have your money back. And
that's not. Neither one of those are going to happen. Especially the second one. I'll tell you, the second one's definitely not going to happen.
Uppy, you want to make this? I just looked up the tiebreaker for division. This is going to make you feel real good. The 9th most important factor in the tiebreaker is the best net points in common games.
So this is Loop will text me that.
Don't worry, Loops is fucking in one.
He's in one.
I knew point differential didn't matter. 9th. Wow, that's down the depth chart.
That's way down.
So they can't use that. Like the investigation should go on this week. There should be an investigation into that.
You want to call Roger Goodell? Call him.
Roger, he's making 40 bananas a year. Figure this out for all the guys out there that took San Fran. Should be the San Fran bettors. the city of San Fran should be up in flames. It is,
It
actually.
is already. You don't need football. It already is up in flames, buddy. People shitting everywhere.
Oh, man.
Did you take the Niners second half? No.
Huh? Yeah, I did.
Okay, good.
Thank God.
Good. Thank God. So, stick with it, buddy. Stick with it. I do think maybe DraftKings could load up your account for you when you're in Colorado. You can use it. I want to talk to you about Coach Prime, man. He's got his saying, it's personal. I love it. All right, when he's talking to the boys, he'll be like, blah, blah, blah. It's what? Personal. Unbelievable game. You got to give Colorado State some credit, but they came back. I drank the Kool-Aid. I took a minus 21. That didn't hit. I did take Colorado second half. I want to talk to you about the hit on Hunter, man. That was one of the dirtiest hits I've ever fucking seen, man.
Yeah.
That is so dirty.
Dirty hit, celebrating while he's on the ground hurt. There's a lot of things that were wrong about that situation. I don't think. Do you see this, Max? You saw it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not perfect.
It's
a
college
good
football.
hit. A good hit. You had a good hit, then fine. Celebrate with your boys, and then if you notice the guy's down hurt, have a little sympathy. This was dirty as all hell. The guy's out of bounds. Fuck it. It's a target. Kick the guy out. What? All college playoffs last year, I remember because I was on the wrong side of things. Any sort of head-to-head thing, any remote thing, you're gone. Why isn't that
targeting?
Yeah. Any remote situation in college football last year, they were kicking guys out. Now, are they trying to fix that? They just don't want guys to get kicked out anymore.
Well, the targeting rule is if you use your head, you use the crown of your helmet to his helmet.
Different type of hit.
This was right to his liver, which is even dirtier.
Yeah, so like hits like that, man. These kids are in college. Like, it could fuck the guy up for his his career.
Yeah, but that guy on Colorado State that's the massive underdog playing on national television probably isn't going to play football again after this year if he's a senior.
Yeah, take the guy's head off.
Yeah, right. What does he got to lose?
I know, but just have a little respect. Like, the guy's hurt.
It was cunty.
Yeah.
What an atmosphere, though. I mean, you want to talk about physical football, Max? You were talking about last night's game with the Browns and Steelers was physical. The start of this game, I thought someone was going to fucking... I mean, they were trying to kill each other. It was great.
Who would have ever watched Colorado ever play?
Oh, I mean,
they would have never
Prime,
They would have never got an ESPN game day either.
What did Coach Prime, his sunglasses on Saturday sold $1.5 million in shades, just in one fucking day? It's personal.
He's got a Kentucky Fried Chicken. He's got a
personal.
Affleck
He's
with
got
Nick Saban. Yeah,
he's got everything.
Affleck. It was unbelievable. I'm pulling for them. I do think the fun's going to be over next week at Oregon, though, because when I did watch, and Max jump in here, football maybe better than I do, but Buffalo's D-line looked tiny ups. And when Oregon and USC the next couple weeks, I think it's going to just... But they're already winning, man. 3-0.
It's in Oregon. They got USC in 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
In Oregon.
They might lose the next 3 to 4 games. Their depth, it's just their depth. It's his first year recruiting class. Doesn't have the second, third stringers that can keep up with the second, third stringers of the Oregons and the SCs. So they might squeak away with one of them, but probably gonna balance that record out here in the next few weeks.
For sure. That was a tough loss for me too there. I went Colorado State plus 9.5. Plus 10.5 in the second half. Guess what? They fucking lose by that stupid touchdown in overtime.
You never flip flop. You gotta believe, because let me tell you something, okay? So you believed in your heart that Colorado was a 21-point better team than Colorado State, right?
Yes.
So you have to chalk it up that they played their best. It's like when you play golf against me. If I beat you on the front nine, you're going to press me, right?
Yeah.
Because history would say that I'm not going to play that good again.
Yeah, but I thought they would have won the game by 4. And that was good enough. I didn't know it was going to go to overtime.
The second half was -7.
No, the second half was plus 10.5. Plus 10.5 I got Colorado State at this in the second half. Plus 10.5.
Well, then you won.
No, I didn't. They were already up. No, I lost by like 4 points.
They were up 14 at halftime?
They were up 14.
They were up 7.5. They were up 7.5.
Yeah, and then they won by 8. I was a plus 10.5. I'm like, this is great. They're going to come back and probably win by 3 if they win. And that's 10. And they fucking booyah.
From halftime to the end of the game, it was 15-point differential.
Yeah, because of the overtime. It was just, I mean, everything happened. The 95-yard fucking tie with the 2-point conversion to go to overtime. It's just full on ice cold.
Dude, you flip flopped. I didn't like the flip flop. To be honest with you, I thought you gotta go down with the ship. You got to think that they're going to get it going in the second half. Although they did lose Hunter, so that to me, I was like, fuck, they lost their best receiver.
It was just a tough beat. It was a bad beat.
It's personal.
Yeah,
it's fucking personal.
Bad beat.
Updog, I wanted to talk to you about, staying on the football forum here. A lot of these guys, the Kelsey brothers, Parson from Dallas, there's a few other guys that are current NFL players that have their own podcast. Like, is this something you think maybe these hockey guys, I don't know if I was, let's say, Austin Matthews, or I was, Connor McDavid. I know he doesn't love to talk, but if I was a legit NHLer, I would maybe have my own little podcast weekly, come on, tell you how I'm feeling, tell you what's going on with the team. We're going to get into what happened in Columbus, but just with these platforms nowadays, like, if you're a player, why not use your own platform to say exactly how you feel?
I think this is one of your better talking points, Obes, you brought up today. I was like, oh, this is a great topic. We should talk about this. Yeah. I think hockey guys need to go outside the little bubble that we live in. And we have a little bubble. We need to make that bubble bigger if these guys want to start to get paid more. We need to have a level of, commitment into showing fans what these guys are like, having opinions on weekly things that go on. Like, it's hard. Call it what it is. It's even hard to get hockey guys to come on our podcast.
I know, it's the worst
to get
part.
Guys to come on podcasts, and NHL teams don't demand their guys go on national TV a lot. We're witnessing Scott Van Pelt last year talk to guys after games, and it's hard for these guys to open up. TNT does a great job of it. But your point is, the Travis Kelce podcast now and his brother, that's arguably one of the best sports podcasts out now.
Yeah.
Because you're like, holy shit, these guys week to week play, battle, come back, laugh about it, talk about it, talk about the pain it was, talk about the wins. Tom Brady did it his last year, right? Tom Brady and what's that kid's name that had his podcast? They did it on Sirius Radio. Anyway, they did it all last year. They still got it going. I just think, what Aaron Rodgers does with Pat McAfee,
yes,
it brings fans into the lives and gives these players a platform when there's big issues going on. It's the right thing to do is these players have a voice.
Totally.
That's the only way we're going to have it. It's the only way we're going to turn the tide of, power and commitment into the sport. Right now the owners and the league and the commissioners carry the voice. The media carries the voice. Players, step up, have a little bit of an opinion, share it on a platform, and, watch how fans take to it. I think it's a great way to promote our game and to get the money back for these players. It's right.
And then I would even go further. I'd be like, I'm not talking to the media. I'm just talking on my podcast. Like, if you wanted to be a prick, right? Like, if you wanted to be,
you could just give short answers.
If you wanted to be a prick and say, hey, listen, I'll do my short little answers because I'm probably obligated to answer questions after games. But like, I looking back at my career, like I could have used my own podcast, right? Like I could have used a time where I could have went out and said, hey, by the way, this is what actually went down, instead of going through them. And then you got to go to the media and answer it the right way. Like, I just think nowadays, when we played, there was no such thing as podcasts. So I think nowadays you can't get in trouble for having your own podcast. Maybe a coach could hold against you deep down, maybe if you're out of the lineup.
But then you
say, hey, listen, I think he scratched me because I have my own podcast, guys. I think he's upset because I come out here every week and I tell you how I feel. Then the hot seat would go right back onto him. Nowadays,
100%.
We played fucking out of the league.
Yeah, no, the tides are turning.
And
I think you make a good point. Get out ahead of it. These guys, it's a great avenue for your voice, for people to put eyes on you, for, the game itself and your brand. The brand is everything.
The brand is everything.
He's got good brands, but like Austin Matthews is a perfect example. Jack Hughes, perfect example.
Jack Hughes would be great. He should have his own podcast.
He should have his own pod. Him and his brothers should have their own pod. Yeah. You're right.
Matthews and Marner should do their own thing weekly in Toronto. Just be like, all right, listen, this is what's really going on.
I don't think these players in NFL and NBA that are doing it are critiquing the teams, the coaches, the media.
No, they're just having fun.
They're just having fun, and it personalizes them. You can, but
it depends. And there'll be a time and a place where you actually should. Yeah. But it's not what the message of your podcast or the point of it isn't to go out every week and talk about controversial shit all the time.
No, I'm not saying every week they're going to stir the pot.
No, and you don't even have to do it once a week, but you should have it. You should have a platform just to be able to go on and do it. Like, if they do make you do these stupid radio shows every week where you're talking to some fucking nerd from, CX 930 or whatever the fuck.
Totally.
Have your own one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Bring Austin Matthews, bring on fucking artists, bring on JB, Justin Bieber, do it,
If I'm obligated to go on these fucking radio shows that you're talking about and TV shows, particularly in Canada, then why wouldn't I have my own, right? If I got to answer you guys' questions that I'm sick of answering, then I'm going to rebuttal on my own platform and say, if you want to. I don't think it's the nature of hockey players, and we've talked about this a lot, and I'm not saying they're going to go on there every week, up dog, and stir the pot about their team and try to get guys in shit, but just break down what's going on, how the boys are doing, what's going on in your life. I think it's a no-brainer for some of these guys, and I'm just shocked there's no more hockey players doing it.
Yeah, like don't put as much time as we do into the podcast.
Yeah, don't take our sponsors.
Don't be
take
killing
our
yourselves.
sponsors.
Yeah, don't be fucking weighing it. It eats you up, eh?
Yeah, fuck. Trying to get guests is the worst.
It's the worst.
Right? You want to come on? Fuck off. It's just tough.
But I mean, I'd go on another podcast. If Austin Matthews called us, we'd go on there.
We would go on Austin Matthews' podcast.
Totally.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the Kelsey brothers are killing it. And like Max said, it shows their personality even more, which when you're trying to grow the game, we sitting here a couple weeks ago saying we want McDavid and these boys making 20 bananas. This stuff I think would help.
Big time.
Yeah. And if the coach pisses you off, you go right to your podcast and say, hey, this is what's going on. And that's what I'm thinking. I'd stir the pot up.
We're in a
I'll stir the fucking pot.
We're in a
I don't
time
care.
and place right now where things are turning.
Tides are turning.
Tides are turning.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to Missin Curfew. Uppy's World.
Party
time. Excellent.
Pura Vida on the beach.
Wow, this fucking guy,
Oh, it's a
Costa
good trip,
Rica
It's a good
land developer. Land developer, I'm going to call him now.
developing anything. Boss.
You look like you're down there. You're looking at the sights. You're looking at the water. You're looking at the angles.
Oh, you didn't see anything.
This would be nice. Maybe we put a little tub here. But
Sunset
fucking
over here.
little hammock there. Well, what's going on? Talk to me.
Spider monkeys everywhere.
Spider monkeys.
There were some weird looking fucking.
You don't want to leave the door open and a
weird
spider
insects
monkey
down there.
I bet.
Squirrels look all different. White heads, gray heads. Weird. Anyway,
Lizards everywhere and shit.
lizards everywhere.
Snakes.
There is snakes. Didn't see any snakes. Listen, great.
I don't even know where Costa Rica is.
This is a. It's a little project.
Is it near Colombia?
No, well, yeah, it is.
Fuck, I want to go there.
Fly into Liberia, Costa Rica, and it's about a 30-minute drive. Community's called Zapatol. And shout out to my boy Blaine Platt and my boy Malcolm. Malcolm took us surfing. He's a beauty. He's got a huge following on his TikTok. He's like Costa Rican's TikTok star. He's an Aussie, and he took us surfing. Christina and I, we got up a couple times by ourselves. We're at Witch's Rock. I don't know if you've ever
famous surf spot.
Buddy, it was sick, man. So this is like a 15-minute boat ride from where we were. Went to Witch's Rock for about 3 hours. Crushed it. Waves were perfect. 4-foot little rollers.
See any
Did the
crocodiles out there?
longboard. No, I didn't. Was there crocodiles?
Crocodiles.
Witch's Rock is known for
Crocodiles? Shit, no, I didn't see any.
See? Trips over up. There goes
No,
your
but-
leg.
but
There goes your leg up.
This is it's a beautiful place, man. Zapatol, 2 beautiful beaches. It's a new community. Tom Fazio built golf course. Food was insane. Staff was great. They managed to figure out how to get the football on for me all weekend.
That's nice.
Yeah, it was
That's
nice
important.
to just watch.
You got to
me
be able to
lose
watch
all-
the football games.
Totally.
What time? What's the time change like down there? I was thinking
1 hour.
That's it, eh?
That's it. So you can. I mean, that's what the positive thing about Costa Rica. You go to Hawaii, you can't work. You go to Europe because it's 4 hours. Like
Were you working down there or what? Were you working a lot? Or?
yeah, I was like, get up, answer a couple
Fucking working.
emails. Have a massage.
Yeah.
Eat some pancakes.
That's why I didn't get your lineup in. It was working. Yeah.
Yeah, my starting, whatever. Listen, beautiful place, and it's coming along. For those of you out there, man, Zapatol, it's about an hour north of
For
town.
those of you who got about fucking 4 bananas lying around, this place is perfect for
It's
you.
expensive.
Yeah, no kidding.
One hockey player just bought in there. I don't want to say his name yet, but he's a legend. He just I think recently retired. He had a hell of a career. First ballot Hall of Famer.
Getsy?
No, not Getsy, but someone just like him.
Just like Getsy.
Just like Getsy. Played on Getsy's line, actually. But I can't give it away. I'm not going to give it away.
Oh, Healy.
Heater. Did Heater play on Getsy's line?
For a bit, remember? And then they sent him to the Banana League.
Yeah, but
fucking
Heater's not a
Norfolk.
first ballot. I love you, Heater, but you're not a first ballot.
Oh, this guy's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Played on Getsy's line. Oh, fuck. Pears.
Pears is still playing.
This guy's retired.
I can't
fuck.
give it. But you'll get it eventually. But
Played on Getsy's line for the Ducks? Or Team Canada?
I can't give you too much, fella.
Give me something, bro.
Scotty's World.
Uppy's World Party time. Listen, I'll tell you what. If I come to Costa Rica, I'm going to keep fucking heading south because you go right into fucking Panama. And
Yeah,
then you
yeah,
fucking
it's
keep
all
on
right
going
there.
right into Colombia. Right
How
into
far down
fucking
is Colombia?
Buddy.
Go get some stem
Fuck,
cells.
on this thing, it looks like it's a fucking hop, skip, and a jump. Costa Rica, Panama, boom, you're right into fucking Medellin, into Bogota. And I don't think you want to go much more into Colombia there.
So this
Then
place,
she gets right into the Amazons.
I didn't even get into this. This place has a water park, all farm to table. The kids in the morning can go pick like the fruits from the trees with their own baskets, like the mangoes and the bananas and all this shit. Then they have 2 like longevity centers, 4 restaurants, a brewery. Those comfort
It's a longevity
stations.
center. Like for recovery.
It's all like stem cell and mind and body work. You can do like the psilocybin. They've got shamans there, and it's really wild what they're building. and then baseball thing. They've got zip lining, and then they own a property up in this blue zone. It's all this blue water, and there's cabins along this river that's just kind of very still, but it's like the wildest, bluest river. And you go up there and kind of get away and a little retreat. But it's a beautiful place, Zapatol. Nice. Little monkey up. I brought you a golf shirt.
Is there like a downtown to it?
No, so there's really no nightlife at all. No? Tamarindo is like the closest one. I went there and watched Sunday football. We had dinner. It's an hour drive. And
did you see anywhere we could have a studio down there?
Yeah, I did. Actually,
because let's be honest here, we don't need to get into it, but
I put in to get a studio there.
If things continue on the way they're going,
yeah,
I may move to Costa Rica now. I can't afford Discovery. Where could I live?
We get you a spot right there. There's a place called
right there?
There's a couple places. There's Flamingo Beach.
Flamingo.
A lot of life.
Used to do a couple flamingos on the ice.
Cocoa Beach.
Ooh, Cocoa Beach sounds nice.
That sounds nice. Yeah.
Let me look that up.
Bunch of different beaches there. Cocoa Beach. There's a lot of locals.
Sign me up.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to take this thing to Costa Rica.
I'm not going to be surfing with the alligators like the Updog did. But
it's actually a good time zone to watch games.
If you can't tone it,
get Starlinks, you get the good service. Hack the NHL, TNT.
We got to get
ESPN.
we need the black box down there that we can get TNT and stuff. But
buddy,
it looks beautiful.
Buddy, but about $800,000, $1 million gets you a nice, sick pad, ocean view.
Does it?
Get you a golf membership.
So I'm just going to play on your dime at that course, so I'll run up your guest fees.
I'm going to start playing on your dime at Big King. Hey-o.
Uppy's World, party time. Excellent. Welcome back, fella. I'm glad you had a good trip.
Thanks, buddy.
Big news coming out of your former team, the St. Louis Blues, have named, I believe, their 24th captain in team history. I don't know, but I believe
this guy's rightfully deserving.
Braden Shen, your boy
Shenner.
He's in our Larry Bettman Fantasy Football League. So we got a little more leadership in there with the fact daddy and him now. Listen, I think this is a no-brainer. This was the guy. I assume this was him. But good for Chief, good for Army. You got to be happy with your former squad, giving this guy the C, because he plays the right fucking way.
You're
he
damn
brings
right.
It. He was the one guy last year, him and Binner actually were the two guys every night that were not going to take losing. They were fighting. They were just sticking up for each other. I'm happy for Shenner. Well-deserved.
Yeah, listen, I don't have a whole lot to say on this other than the guy, since he's played in the NHL, has played the right way. He knows when to step up for his teammates. He knows when things aren't going well. He speaks up in meetings. He's taking guys out for dinners. He's great with the young players. He's got a good voice in the room, talking with the coach, sorting out all the issues, which is good for a captain. And then for me, he's at the age he deserves a captaincy, right? He's won a Stanley Cup. He's been a big part of the Blues and the way that the franchise has been going. I think he's a well-respected guy by Chief and by Army. And for me, he's the man for the job. My boy Bobble, give him an A.
Bobble.
My boy Bobble better.
Love Bobble. What's he like in the room?
He's a great guy.
Is he a vocal leader?
Yeah, no, he is.
Rah, rah, rah.
Yeah, he's a great, he's a Western leaguer. He's great. He's fucking, he shows up. He puts in his work. He stays extra. He works on parts of his game. Obi, he always had a great shot, and he was always, working on the power play, working in front of the net. But listen, he puts his body on the line day in, day out. And that team, with the younger players, a couple guys making a lot of money, they need a leader to follow. Still, they're not the leaders yet. He's the guy. Shenner's the guy.
I couldn't agree more with you. We're going to do our preview show here in a couple weeks. Speaking of our preview shows, we're looking for some curfew calls on questions you have on the upcoming season. I'm going to post this on social too, but me and the Updog, we want to know what your concerns are, questions, predictions. So get that out on our curfew calls. I will remind you on social media. But listen, the Blues, Buchnevich, Thomas, Cairo, Saad, Shen, Kapanen, Neighbors, Hayes, Varanen, Sundquist, Blaze, and the Torpedo Kid. I don't know how to say his name. But, what do you think? This team, I don't know. They could surprise some people.
They're young. So they're young, but they have high skill. Are their D healthy?
Letty,
yep.
Parenko,
yep.
Krug, Falk, Scandella, our boy Bobble.
I like that D. If Krug's healthy, which he wasn't last year, and Falk's on top of his, I like Falk. Parenko needs a bounce back year. Scandella is still there. I think they just need to kind of be healthy. They need to stay healthy.
They need to stay healthy. They need Robert Thomas and Jordan Cairo to really take that next step.
Yeah.
So I know Thomas has won a Stanley Cup there, but Cairo and him, to me, they got to take that next step. And obviously Kevin Hayes going there. I think Hayes is going to be a good fit.
Big time.
Gets out of Philly with all the pressure of the contract. Everyone loves St. Louis that plays there.
Yeah, limited pressure, right? Third line center is what they have him pegged in as. He's going to play power play. He's a great playmaker.
Great playmaker.
You know, he's a guy that you have Thomas on one wing, him on maybe that other half wall. You have Schenner kind of in front of the net, and you got Kyrou taking shots. And that's a good a good setup for a power play.
I agree. And obviously, you know how I feel about Sammy Blais, and Sundqvist coming back as a guy that can play up and down their lineup too. So health will be a big concern. But I'm always pulling for the Blues because of you.
Me too, babe.
You know, Fact Daddy loves St. Louis. Prongs loves St. Louis. Kelly Chase is a beauty. Panger was a legendary. He's moved on. But I don't know. We're pulling for St. Louis.
Yeah, we should do a little fellow trip there.
I would love to. Obi Clark's.
Obi Clark's, baby.
I want to get drunk there.
Big Walt's got to take us out there.
Did you see the thing Princey posted about Grapes calling Walt Kachuk Tay-Chuck? He just kept calling him Tay-Chuck. It was unbelievable. Updog, around the National League here, fella. First of all, we got an NHL Global Series. We talk about, missing things about the league. I wish I was on one of these two squads right now. Melbourne, Australia for 2 exhibition games. Do you imagine how drunk we'd be in Australia right now when you got to play 2 exhibition games? Exhibition games,
actually. Yes. No, I do.
Holy
I've never been to
fuck.
Australia. I missed that trip with you and Obi, or with you and Luke Dog. I was playing in the playoffs. But, buddy, I mean, that's just expanding the game.
Sell the game down there, boys. Get out, enjoy the city. I saw a picture of Kemp and Byfield walking down some famous lane in Melbourne. Get out there, get to know those Aussies, single guys, beautiful women everywhere. Enjoy that. But I'm jealous, Uppy. It's great for the league, and the fact that I believe it's 2 exhibition games.
Yeah, how long do they get? Like 10 days?
Fuck.
We went to China. I think we only had a week.
Was that exhibition?
Not
But you can't, like Australia, Uppy, you in Australia,
Yeah.
heads up. I mean,
know.
beautiful
This is the
women
first time
everywhere.
ever the NHL has been there. It has to be.
Yeah, first time.
Good for them.
Yeah.
LA, they were the ones that got to come over, to play the Vancouver Canucks in China. They get to do a lot of this fun stuff.
I mean, I don't know if you could compare going to
How would you
China.
like that road trip though? Like right off the hop, like you're back and
there's definitely something to be said for having to go to Europe. How
many guys
last year it happened to the Preds. Preds got off to a terrible start after going to Switzerland and playing in Sweden. When I went to Prague, obviously, I've told you a million times, I went on an absolute bender, but then I got traded to Vancouver. So I went Prague, Tampa, all the way to the West Coast. So I was in one for a couple weeks, but I do think there's something to be said about it could affect your start. Yes, obviously it could.
And do you think they brought all the starters?
Listen, I saw Clayton Keller in a fucking fold-out bed and a first-class bird heading to fucking Melbourne. So
Nice.
Keller's was looking nice and comfortable.
Yeah, so this is probably like guys.
How drunk would you get on that flight, though? That's about it.
They're
10-hour
playing-
flight.
They're playing I did get really drunk going to China. You should have seen the plane. It was crystal air. It's sick. It's the same one those live guys took the one year.
Really?
Poker tables, like 80 beds. It was badass. But listen, they're playing right away. Like they were getting 2 exhibition games this weekend, right off the hop.
It's
Like,
exhibition.
they're
Who
just
gives
not
a
even
fuck?
sauce passes, no back check-in, power play.
If you're on a one-way ticket with a guaranteed money, you give a fuck about an exhibition game.
No, I mean, I just imagine that.
That'd be
That'd
cool.
be nice.
Now, if you're on a PTO and they take you to Melbourne, you're like, are you really taking me to Melbourne? Like, I even on a PTO, I don't think I could have stayed in my room. I'd roll the dice. I'd be like, fuck it. If this is it, I'm going down to Melbourne. Who cares?
Yeah, totally. No, I get it.
Yeah. Anyways, I think it's good for the league.
Great for the league.
I want to touch on Connor Bedard here. He's got a hat trick in his first rookie camp game with the Chicago Blackhawks. Listen, everyone's loving this kid. I think he's going to be they were power play goals in a rookie tournament. His pull release, one of the best releases I've ever seen. I do think the defensemen like Pietrangelo, these top Ekholm, these top D-mans on the power play, when he tries to pull, you just take away your inside ice and force him down the wall. I think you will see a lot of defensemen force him to his forehand, not allow him to pull to the middle, because when he does pull and shoot it, it is deadly. It is deadly. Yeah. I want to see him play 5-on-5 Uppy, but those goals, those were spink dinks, man. It was impressive.
Spinky.
Yeah.
The shots.
You love
insane.
this kid, right?
I like him. I think what he's doing. Listen, he's going to get so much opportunity on these power plays.
Yeah.
And we just saw in a rookie camp, and we've seen it, for years. He puts up points. He's got a great shot. I think his shot's gotten better. I think he worked on it all summer. I've never seen what that video I sent around where he shot it from that right half wall. I've never seen a puck get pulled like that. Was probably 6 feet. He pulled that puck and shot it from in between his legs. I even think of Pietrangelo trying to block that. If he commits to trying to block that from that spot, he goes outside and he's kind of got you beat. So it'll be interesting to just see how
I'll give him the outside. I would give
know, but what
Connor
if you're-
Bedard the outside all night long.
But what if you go down to block that shot?
And he goes, as long as he goes to outside the dots, it's
Yeah.
fine. We can recover from that. If he pulls it to the middle and I'm outside the dots and he takes it to the house, we're fucked. Now, I'm thinking with all the video, these veteran guys, people are going to make adjustments on this kid.
Yeah.
I do believe that. And I'm interested to see his 5-on-5 game, like I said, but I'm with you. His release, the way he pulls that puck, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe guys won't be able to adjust to it. Maybe he's that good. But I do think these top penalty kill forwards, defensemen, goalies, PK coaches, they're going to make a way to make him earn that outside ice, I believe.
Yeah,
Don't give him the inside.
Slashing him in the wrist or...
You can't do that anymore.
You know, they're going to take it out on him a bit.
But you would say the same thing about McDavid, right? They know what he's going to do.
Yeah, but McDavid does it at such a high speed. This is why I'm wondering. I'm wondering, so you're picturing this power play spot he's going to have. He's going to go outside the zone, and
someone's get the whiteboard out and do this?
Someone's going to hit him coming down that slot on the dot, and he's going to have speed. And if he commits to that shot, and you as a D-man try to take away the inside and try to block that shot, he's gone past you, and he's probably put one back door for a tap-in.
Oh, that's fucking net front defenseman's responsibility.
So
and you as the weak side winger, you got to collapse if that happens. I'm just saying, and not even me, I'm talking about these legit National League PK guys. Petronenko's a good example. I think Petro holds, where the faceoff dot is, he holds the hash marks anytime they play against Bedard and will give him the outside lane and protect the back door. They're really going to discourage that pull and drag because they know how lethal it is.
Yeah. I'm
interested to see how that plays out. He could be so good that he'll pull it through and still shoot it. And if he is, I was wrong.
It's just wild. I mean, as a player, I think back of getting a puck on a half wall and being like, okay, holy shit.
Well,
like, what do I got? What do I got? You know, try to get your head up. This kid's like on his edges. He's looking around. He's got the puck like on a string, and he's dialing in a phone booth, you know? He's in a phone booth dialing out. It's gonna be special to watch. I do think he's a generational player because he just thinks differently. He's got a different shot, and he's not Connor McDavid. He's not Sidney Crosby. He's got a whole different look, and you know, it's just the same way like Patty Kane looked when he came in the league as this young guy, and people said he was too small and had doubts. Like, he's gonna have this new way of playing hockey, and his shot, it starts there.
Yeah,
and you can see his legs and his strength, and it's how does he evolve? But he's gonna get these looks on the power play, whether you like it or not. He's gonna get fucking 5 power play, a night, and he's gonna stay on for 2 minutes, and he's gonna get these looks, and that's where he's gonna get all his points.
No, and listen, he's gonna make Chicago's Blackhawks power play better immediately. I mean, his power play ability is, for his age, is crazy. He is gonna be a sniper on the power play. And he'll still get his looks. You're absolutely right. That's an adjustment that I'm just looking for some of these defensemen, these elite penalty kill defensemen to make. But I loved a lot of things about your game, but the half wall was probably not one of the things that I would compare.
How long?
I loved a lot of things about your game. The half wall play was not up there on the list of upshelf things that I like to probably witness, was it?
I mean, you'd have to really go in the archives to find one.
Did you play the half wall in Kamloops even?
Oh, yeah.
You were a half wall guy in Kamloops.
Come on.
Yeah, you were.
Well, actually, no. I was a net front guy. How long do you think it takes him to get his first goal?
He'll probably score opening night. Who are they playing?
I don't know.
Let me check.
And then
just because there's going to be so many fucking penalties.
You think he gets, is it a power play goal or is it a even strength goal?
Power play goal, 100%.
I think if he gets one the first night, he's going to get.
You think he's going to go Austin Matthews and score 4? Wow, what an opening nighter. Blackhawks at Penguins. How are you? October 10th, right against Sid and the
Who's
kid.
the second game?
Got to go in the Bell Center against the Habs. He might get one there. He'll probably get a couple there. And then he's going to get a real taste of the National League, his third match. He's going in the Ball Arena against the fucking Avalanche. Do your chin strap up that night, Connor, and get your feet moving because he's going to get a pace. He'll get a taste of 5-on-5 pace there that he's going to be like, holy fuck.
Totally.
Like, what is going on out here?
Yeah. No, that'll be good for him. I think he scores. He doesn't score in the home opener. I think he gets 2 in Montreal.
2 in Montreal.
2 in Montreal.
Okay, all right. Let's see if we get DraftKings to put a little line out. Let's see what that line would be.
We'll just see how it plays out. What date is that?
He'll be playing in the Bell Center October 14th.
That's Saturday night. Saturday night in Bell Center.
Saturday.
He's going to go off. He might get like 2 and 2 that night, actually.
Do you like his number? Do you like 98?
I think it suits him, yeah.
You do, right? Do you think he has good style?
Yes, I do.
You do, right?
But I don't think righties have good style at all. I'm a lefty player. You know what I mean?
It's funny you say that because I love Joe McGinley. And listen, this is not a shot at Joe McGinley at all, but Princey keeps posting stuff about Joe McGinley. His style, to me, wasn't great.
It's hard to think a righty has great style, does it?
He's the best righty with the best style ever. That's a good point.
Stammer?
Stammer's got great style. Stammer has great style.
for a righty.
Yeah,
Like,
Have you ever watched videos of guys like mirrored so they look lefty? With
Yeah.
the
they
righty?
did that with Tyler
Right.
Marino. That was great when they did that.
think about this. Who is a righty sniper that, by the way, righties are snipers. They're not playmakers, right?
They're typically snipers, or they're like Webbs that just rips fucking bombs from the point.
Like Claude Giroux, for example.
No, I never thought he had good style.
Tough style.
Yeah.
That's what I think. What about Alex Semin?
Good style.
Good style.
What about Chris Letang? Good style.
Yeah. Demon, different though.
Tyler Myers, not good style.
No. Weber?
Eric Carlson,
What Carlson has good style.
good style. Okay, here's one. Patrick Sharp.
See, I actually thought about him. Great hair.
Great hair.
Pretty good style. Not bad.
Sharpie had good style.
Loops?
Loops had good style. I didn't love the CCM
wheels,
bucket. I didn't love the
wheels,
CCM
though.
bucket he wore.
CCM wheels, CCM bucket, gloves. Not perfect.
Brandon Montour.
Pretty good style.
Yeah, good hair too, Monty's
Yeah.
got. I think these guys might be proving us wrong. Oh my God. David Pasternak.
I see it. I don't know.
Sloppy. His wheels are a little sloppy.
Like, it looks like his ankles.
His-
He's got like Whitney ankles on him.
He's got good style
Fuck,
off the
his
ice.
toe curve is just lethal.
Lethal. Zabanajet. Fuck, he's greasy looking, isn't he?
I know. He's got not great style. Panarin?
The bread man's got good style.
Breadman, yeah.
To break it.
No.
Terrible style. Well, we're forgetting about the fucking man himself, Ovi.
I thought about Ovi. Ovi's got legendary style just because he's Ovi.
I like those yellow laces.
Okay, what about let's go lefties?
Okay, hold on.
Syndicate.
Great style.
McDavid.
Great style. Drysdale.
Epic style.
Yeah.
I like his style.
Matthews. Sick style.
Let's go back to Steve Yzerman.
Great style. What
Right.
about Mitch Marner?
Tough style. Matthews has his own style. He got it from
Matthews
Patty
is
Kane.
nasty
But
style.
it has Patty Kane written all over it, but it's badass style.
Jack Hughes. Nasty
style. See again.
Patty Kane. Nasty style.
But Patty Kane did the Jack Hughes and the Austin Matthews look.
Jonathan Taves. Nasty style.
Jonathan Taves, that was his style.
Nasty style. Scotty Upshaw. Sick style. Except for when he was going to wear his bucket and warm up in Winnipeg. I wasn't having that. But let's play this game again. I want to keep going with you on this game. But we got to get to the fucking Milk Carton, baby. It's Milk Carton time. And this is no surprise. We are putting Mike Babcock on the Milk Carton because he is no longer the head coach of the Columbus Blue Jackets. And I just got to say, the fact that Paul Bissonnette took this guy down is fucking... I mean, we talk about how far it's come with podcasts, and obviously Chicklets is the OGs of this shit, and Biz with TNT and everything he's got going. We said besides Gretzky, Biz is probably the most... He's got
influential
the most
hockey
influential, thank you.
media personality on the planet right now for us. And it's great.
It's just funny if Bob's just sitting at home being like, Paul Bissonnette, he couldn't fucking cross over. He couldn't play. Just ended my career. Do you think he's sitting at home wherever he is in Saskatchewan being like, Paul Bissonnette ended it for me?
No, I think he ended it for himself. But yes, but Biz shining light on this, and I think he just had enough. I think Biz stepped up for hockey players in general and said, enough with this old boys club of bullies. If this is true, and I think it is, I'm going to stand up for what I believe in. And he backed up his word 3 or 4 times via Twitter, via his podcast, which, just like you said, they're the OGs, and it proves that you can have a voice. And I'm glad that it got shined. I'm glad they investigated it. I'm glad that players stepped up and spoke the truth. At the beginning, you didn't know what the hell was going on. Boone Jetter kind of swifted under the rug.
That's where I want to go with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is. And, Biz has built a platform. And like he said, I caught something he said today. He's like, he didn't give a fuck if Babs got fired or not. He was just bringing it to his attention. But
yeah, he didn't say fire Babs.
No, but deep down, it's just, to me, it's funny that Paul Bissonnette fucking cost Babs his job. But listen, you talk about the players, and me and you sat in this very studio last week when the story surfaced. And I'll be honest, I was on the fence. You were kind of, agreeing with what it was coming out that this can't happen. I'm like, give it some time. Like, if a coach asked you to look at a picture of Beckham and Izzy, I'm sure you would show it. Like, he's just trying to get to know these guys. And then Johnny Hockey and Boone Jenner come out and say what they did say. And I'm like, okay, maybe this is just misunderstood. My question is, who made those guys come out and say that? Did Davidson and the GM say, you guys got to squash this right now? Because if that's the case, then there's a bigger problem than just Babcock with the Columbus Blue Jackets. Or did Boone Jenner and Johnny Hockey want to come out and say this? To me, them coming out and now it unfolding the way it did, maybe there's bigger problems in Columbus than just Mike Babcock. Because if they're trying to sweep it under the rug, that's not the answer, Ups. If you're the GM and you're the fucking president of the fucking Columbus Blue Jackets, you got to do the right thing here, not just, oh, boys, we got to clean this up because training camp's around the corner. So I don't know the answer to that. I would like to find out if they made Boone Jenner and Johnny Hockey say that statement, because after that, I thought it was done. And credit to the NHLPA, Marty Walsh, the new director of the NHLPA, and Ron Hainsey. Yeah. Listen, they went down there. This is what we pay the union for. They went down there. They did their work. They found out. Players went and talked to them. That felt comfortable. And we all know what happened.
Well said. I just want to jump in and say, the beginning of this whole fiasco, 4 years ago, Mike Babcock gets fired for something that he shouldn't have done. Yeah. You would think, and I think maybe even you on this podcast said, like, time should have healed this. Time should have, made Mike Babcock realize what he did. He's getting another chance. Maybe he deserves it, maybe not. People did their due diligence on bringing this guy back. Obviously, the guy has issues that are unfixable, unless he really went and sought help for this and just can't help himself. But, to me, you put him back in a spot like this with younger players, and the investigation is going to tell you your question on what happened. And if someone, that investigation hopefully will have taken care of, how it worked out from top to bottom. Top to bottom, why this guy was chosen as a coach is the question to me. Where does this fall on? Who's to blame for bringing this guy in? Would this affect these young players now forever? Just the fact that they know that they're part of an investigation before they've even played one game in the NHL. How does that affect them moving forward? There's questions to be had now, how this whole trickle-down effect. Boone Jenner, as the captain of this team, is going to have to go in and is going to have to, be honest about what the team needs, how they're going to fix this moving forward. Training camp starting tomorrow. There's going to be issues. If I was on that team, I wouldn't want this to be an issue. I wouldn't want this to be talked about anymore. If I was a leader on that team, if I was an assistant captain or I was the captain, this thing would have to be addressed. I'd want to hear from the GM what the hell. Like, this now needs to be a communication thing. What the hell is going on? What went on? What do you know that I don't know? Because I need to go to my team and we need to squash this now because we've got to focus on hockey, right? I don't know. Do you think that we've seen the last resignations in Columbus? Is there going to be more that comes out? Like, it seems like Babs stepping down was the easy way out. Yeah. Is there going to be more to this?
Well, I mean, I think
it seems like he did it to staff members and to young players. And what really was the straw that broke the camel's back was him doing it away from the rink to a really young player. Yeah. I think we know the name of that guy, but we'll let other people talk about that.
I mean, I think, like I said, about the statement that Boone Jenner and Johnny Hockey came out and made. Now, if they wanted to do that on their own, that's how they felt, fine. If the organization made them say that, being like, boys, like I said, we have to sweep this under the rug, then there might be some more digging by the NHLPA. Time will tell on that. I would use this, and listen, it's Columbus. There's not a whole lot of media, but I'm with you. I hope they just leave this alone once training camp starts. They have a new head coach, Vincent Pascal or Pascal Vincent. I don't know who is this guy.
Pascal Vincent is his name.
Pascal Vincent.
I liked him up.
I wish him the best of luck. I hope he does well.
DB here.
If I'm in the Columbus Blue Jackets dressing room, we often bag on Columbus, especially you, right? I mean, about how bad it is and this and that, but all the eyeballs are on them right now for something that is not good. However, people are going to see how they respond. I would use that if I'm Boone Jenner, Johnny Hockey, Severson, a guy they brought in, Gabranson, these vets. Let's use this to rally around, boys. Let's go out and let's get off to a good start. It could be easy for them to say, hey, if things don't go well, our coach got fired a week before training camp. It's been a shit show. We would send this podcast and probably not blame them. However, I want to see them use it as a rallying point, get off to a good start, stick together, come out, play hard for your fans, because people are watching. I'm going to keep my eye on the Columbus Blue Jackets more now than I would have at the start of the season. Right, wrong, who gives a fuck? I'm watching them. So, boys, rally around it. Let's go. Play hard. Play hard for this new guy. Play hard for your teammates. And don't make it a laughing stock. Rally around it, Ups. I hope they do.
This Babcock, like, he comes in, he sets up his coaching office, probably brings in some photos, fucking eats all the protein bars, has all the Gatorades, and then he's just gone before even training camp starts. Yeah, can you believe it? Like, can a guy figure it out?
I had Babs.
The shit he's done.
I know. Just real quick. So Cooley had Babs on the power play near the end of the season when I was co-hosting with him, and Babs came on, and I truly said to you, I'm like, I think this guy's changed. So I fucking drank the Kool-Aid. I was wrong, but go over what he's done. Like when you look at this, like what a fucking bad dude kind of here. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, so it starts benching Chelios, the 2009 Winter Classic. He basically played 2 shifts, and then Chelly went in and poured beer in his water bottle, took his skates off, and just had beers on the bench.
That's great.
The Mike Modano, 1 game shy of 1,500 last game of the year when the Detroit Red Wings were already in the playoffs is a joke to be had. And if you go on Mike Modano's Hockey DB, it's $14.99, complete joke.
Wow, you can't do that to Mikey Mo.
We all know the Marner thing, but the Jason Spezza, first game as a Toronto Maple Leaf, his hometown, playing against his former team, Ottawa Senators, in the first fucking game of the year. The guy signs for $750, comes in to play that game, and Mike Babcock sits him out saying, we need some penalty killers on this. What the
Yeah, man.
It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
So I'm glad. Like this is just a bad guy. This is a bad guy. He's a bad guy, and he's out of hockey.
Karma. He is out of hockey forever.
Forever.
You'll never have to worry about Mike Babcock again. Updog, speaking of Mike Babcock, we had to go out and get the man, the myth, the legend, Mike Commodore. Commie's coming at you next. I can't wait to see what Commie has to hear, because if this happened to Bob Hartley, I have a smile from ear to ear, because I hate Bob Hartley more than anything. I can't wait to see what Commie has to say, fella.
Yeah, can't wait.
Welcome back to Missin Curfew. Updog, this guy needs no introduction ever, but typically right now he definitely needs no introduction. And you know how much I hate Bob Hartley. So when I thought about this happening with Babs and everything, obviously this was a guy that we had to reach out to.
Yeah.
And we were happy for. So
You just wish you did this too.
I wish I could have done this to Bob Hartley.
Yeah, I know.
Unbelievable. But call me Mike Commodore. Call me. How's it been, buddy? How's the emotional roller coaster been the last week, fella?
Oh, I tell you what. Yeah. I mean, this isn't all just about me. This is, I ended up being kind of the spouting for a lot of guys. But yeah, I knew about some of this information like 6 weeks ago. But like one of the best things I did was keep it to myself. I had tweets loaded up, like ready to fire this stuff out. But I'm glad I didn't do it, because at the end of the day, I think I'm viewed as like sour grapes, just ranting and raving about Babs for the last 8 years, so nobody would have listened to me. But I woke up, I guess it would have been a week ago, Tuesday morning, to a bunch of messages, been like, did you hear about this? And with Biz coming out with that, with the photo stuff. And yeah, I mean, I was happy to pile on. There's no doubt about it. I think the best way to put it would be justice has been served. Finally, there's a lot of people in the hockey world that are smiling. I've got, I don't know how many messages. The hockey world's a better place without Babs in it. He's a predator. He's a scumbag. He's been covered for and lied for. He's been lying to people, covered for, however you want to word it, for decades. And finally, he got exactly what he deserved on Sunday.
Call me, and listen, you have every right to fucking hate Babs, because like I said, I went through it in Hartley on the same kind of thing that you went through. And when they make it personal, you deserve to fucking hate them. But listen, Babs came on the power play with Cooley at the end of the season, and I got to be honest, call me. I drank the Kool-Aid a little bit. I'm like, I think this guy's learned.
Sure.
Put your hatred aside, and how big are you a little surprised that he's still, like, after everything he's been through, are you shocked a little bit that he didn't learn his fucking lesson and he still came in to see Bus and tried to do this thing, or are you just not surprised because that's who he is?
I'm not surprised at all. I get why you start drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit. Look, Babs he's a narcissistic sociopath, but Babs isn't dumb. And so he's going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm personally not shocked. Like, if he's been doing this for years, and anybody who's had anything to do with him knows it, like, or this kind of stuff. I mean, airplay didn't exist 15 years ago, but it's not surprising. Like, if you go through, like, when he got canned in Toronto, for instance, I kind of, whatever, a little bit of vindication, and then he went silent, and then he started, like, after a few months, he started kind of his Rehab My Image tour and was going on podcasts. So I was going to start lighting him up again. Then I started reading. I started reading like what he was saying. I can't listen to the guy; makes me sick. But I'm reading some of his quotes, and if you read what his responses, like, he never took accountability for anything. He, in his mind, in Toronto, he was the victim. So why is he going to change if he never thought in time he's never done anything wrong in his life? So it is not surprising. I mean, and I found this out in the last week. Like the ink on his contract, July 1st, would have barely dried. I don't know when Blue Jackets development camp started, but it would have been within a day or two. And I know he was going through for sure 3 young players' phones within days of signing. So he's going to run his mouth. Oh, I've changed. Oh, I'm working with a mental health expert from Ohio State. Bullshit. I mean, it's all horse shit. So I'm not shocked. But in my wildest, I did personally, I wanted it to be a disaster. In my wildest dreams, I think this guy wasn't even going to make it to training camp. I mean, all you got to do is literally do nothing.
Yeah.
And he'll get to training camp. And he couldn't help himself.
Yeah.
End of story, he couldn't help himself.
Doug, what if we would have grabbed your phone back in the day and said, let me have a phone?
Well, that was our conversation last week, Commie. Obi's like, I'm like, what if he really did go through these phones? Like, Biz wouldn't just say this stuff. And Obes is like, I'd just tell him to fuck off. There's no way you're looking through my phone. I'd be like, well, it depends how he asks. Like, if he wants to see some, wants to see some girls on there or something, just whatever, let me know. I'll probably be open with you like my teammate. But when I think of you, Commie, I think Columbus Blue Jackets. You won a cup in Carolina. You're a spokesperson for Calgary, but you loved your time in Columbus. When all this went down, it's been a minute since we had you on. When all this went down, bringing Babs in, like, were you not texting guys in and around the team, or like, who's letting this happen? Like, he hasn't changed. He's not going to change. You guys have a good young team. What your first impression of this whole thing, bringing him in to now, what has that been like for you? And have you not talked to guys on that, like in the war room of that team, being like, who's making the decisions here? Because now it falls on them.
Yeah, big time. I mean, first off, like whenever I do like alumni things and little hot stoves, and what was your favorite place comes up, like, where'd you like to play? And I enjoyed everywhere, but if I had to pick one personally for me, it was Columbus. I loved playing there. I had a good setup there for the only time in my career where I owned the place in town. So I really enjoyed it. And I do have a soft spot for the Blue Jackets. When all this went down and they hired him, I'm not surprised that Babs got another chance. I figured that was going to happen. I guess I shouldn't have been shocked it was the Blue Jackets. When it did go down, I got some buddies that are in the organization. And I didn't want to come out hot and just roast them via text message. I was like, seriously? What are you guys thinking? And it was kind of like a little bit of a response, but not really. But you're sitting there, first off, let's get one thing super clear, because this is getting a little misconstrued on the internet. And you got some guys, not very many, but like Patrick Marlowe back in Babs last week and stuff. Mike Babcock wasn't fired or resigned or whatever because he was having meetings with people and being like, hey, you have a family? Can I see a picture of your kids? I'd like, I'm doing a team collage. I want to put a collage together for team building. That's not what he got fucking fired for. He got canned or resigned because he was doing one of two things. It was either the player was coming into his office and it was straight up, give me your phone, what's the code? And he's just going through the phone, going through the camera roll. Or option 2, the player would come in, hey, you got your phone on you? Yeah, I do. Unlock it. Unlock it and click AirPlay. So now your phone's up on the TV. Open up your camera rolls and scroll till I tell you to stop. That's why you got canned. And you get some pushback on that too. And my best response would be let's say I'm a 7th round pick to the Columbus Blue Jackets last year, and I'm coming into development camp July 2nd, whenever it started. I have a meeting with Babs. This is my first. I'm a young kid. This is an NHL development camp. You got Mike Babcock, head coach. This guy's in charge. He's got a lot of power on how your career is going to get off to, what kind of start it's going to be. And let's say he grabs my phone and starts going through it. Well, what if I'm gay? And I haven't told my parents. Yeah. I haven't told my teammates. Nobody knows. And now I'm sitting there and Mike Babcock's looking at a picture of me holding my boyfriend's hand or kissing my boyfriend or whatever. That is an atrocity, and that could lead to a very, very tragic ending. So there is no defense for what he did, in my opinion, and in a lot of people's opinion. And it is, I'll tell you what, I'm back to being a big Blue Jacket fan now that they got rid of him. For the life of me, I watched some of the press conference yesterday, 8 minutes of it, with Yarmo and JD, who, by all accounts, I've heard are nice guys. I think I've met both of them briefly. I was shit-faced last year, I think, when I met Yarmo's Nashville jersey retirement. I don't remember a whole lot, but they're nice guys. But they're sitting there, and it's like, Yarmo, one of his quotes was, like, Babs did the same photo thing to me. I wasn't uncomfortable. And I'm sitting there watching this. I'm like, oh, really, Yarmo? You're telling me the first time Mike Babcock, you met him, and he's interviewing for the job, he told you to take your phone out and start scrolling through your pictures? I mean, how stupid do you think we are? And his other quote was like, I really believe Mike Babcock had no ill intentions. Like, dude, he had no good intentions. Like, stop it. And I just don't get why, like, they're still kind of covering. It's like, dude, you gave this guy a chance. And a lot of people don't think he deserved it, but you gave him a chance. And the ink didn't even dry on his contract, and he started putting your job in jeopardy. And now, I'll tell you what, those two better hope the Blue Jackets make the playoffs and win a round, or they're going to be gonzo too, I would imagine.
Yeah.
So anyway, sorry.
No,
that was a long-winded.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine, Tommy. And Uppy brought up, about JD and Yarmo, the president and the GM, and asking if there should be more digging on them. And call me when it came to me, like, it happened last week, and I was talking to Uppy about it. And then, Jenner and Johnny Hockey come out with their statement of, it wasn't that, it wasn't this, it wasn't that. He just wanted to get to know my family. Like, if the owner and GM went to those boys and said, boys, you guys have to make this statement to sweep this under the rug, I think there's bigger problems than Commie. Like, if they went and said to him and said, hey, because it doesn't make sense to me why they went out and said it, and then all of a sudden the truth comes out. Like, do you think maybe that's what happened, or what do you think in that aspect?
Man, I think there's a couple of things that could have happened. I don't know for sure. I'll be the first one to say that. But, I mean, I do think Boone Jenner got put in a tough spot. And I do think it was that I'll just put it like this. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Yarmo and JD or whatever came to those guys and like, hey, we need to protect the organization. Get a hold of Gaudreau. He's at that media, wherever the hell that was in Toronto or whatever. Like, we have to protect the organization. And that, like you just said, that case, if that's what happened, that's terrible.
That's terrible.
Because although Boone Jenner is, got put in a tough spot for sure, if going through his phone and if he knew this stuff was going on, and I don't want to speak for him, I don't really know him, but I think he had a pretty good idea. If he covered for it, yes, you were put in a tough spot, but you're the captain of that team. You're in a position of leadership. You have an opportunity there to, like, actually be a leader. And if you just lied for it to kind of protect the organization and, you could make the argument to protect yourself, like, why are you lying to this guy? If you know this stuff is going on, what are you looking for, more minutes on the power play? Yeah. Like, you did something pretty selfish, and you didn't really care about the younger guys or whoever it was happening to. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more. If that actually went on, that's not good at all.
Yeah, and sorry, I'm so good. That's the old school mentality of hockey, right? Got to protect the organization. Let's keep it in house. We'll get it figured out. Well, no, that's not the world we live in anymore. Like, if this is going on, and it was proven that it was, if the GM and president said that to those boys, first of all, shame on Jenner for doing that. If you're the leader, you got to be like, no, I'm not doing it. But that's the old scare mentality up here. That's not great.
Yeah, we're not going to sit around and say, like, we never dealt with this before with coaches, right? Like, we've all had situations as younger players, even coming up through minor hockey, where you get tested, and you get tested again, and then do you speak up for yourself? Do you speak up for your teammates? You have all these opportunities to it. Now, this just is Mike Babcock, and it happens over and over again. But, Commie, let me ask you what you thought about the way the NHLPA handled this situation, right? Like, all the stuff that we're speculating right now, and maybe we're not speculating at all. Maybe we are touching on what happened, but call it speculation. The NHLPA steps up. They go and investigate. To me, this stuff has happened so much with Mike Babcock. How come this is the first time the NHLPA has actually stepped in and said, whoa, we're going in and we're going to investigate this? Like, when I think back at Johan Franzen and the shit that went on and the stuff that you might know about more than us, and what's led him to have, mental health issues and all this stuff that you read about, the NHLPA needs to step up and do this more when something gets brought to their attention, I think. And I think they handled it.
Yeah.
I think they handled it well this time. And we're going to, I think this investigation is going to shine light on everything that went on around this situation. But your thoughts on that exact, situation that the PA stepped in and handled?
Well, I think it kind of went in two kind of phases, sort of. I think at the end of the day, I think the NHLPA did a good job. Marty Walsh and Ron Hainsey, they went in there and they actually, I guess from all accounts that I've heard, actually ran a real investigation and did something about it. I will say also, though, I do think the first, right when Biz broke the, hey, this is going on, this and that, I think they kind of went immediately. I think they went to their little kind of old ways where I think there was pushback from the PA on Biz and Witt to like, well, this isn't true. The Blue Jackets didn't tell me it's true. And I give Biz especially, but Witt too, I give him full marks because when there was pushback from the Blue Jackets, when there was pushback from Babs, I think there was some pushback from the PA on this not being true. Biz didn't back off. He like doubled down and tripled down because he knew he was right. And I give him full marks for that because it would have been real easy to back off. I got to be honest, when I saw him doubling and tripling down, I was fist bumping in here because I'm like, this is perfect because now, I mean, he's got a big following. I mean, people pay attention to Biz and he's not backing off. So they're going to have to pay attention. So at the end of the day, I'll give the PA full marks, like good job. But I do think at the beginning it was, well, let's just try and get rid of this. But they wised up and took care of business. And so at the end of the day, good for them. That answers your question.
Yeah, I agree. And moving forward for the PA, I think it's good for, the other 31 teams, right? If you're a young guy now and something happens to an organization, I feel like Commie, I'm just thinking if it was me, I would feel more comfortable going to the union now and calling them being like, hey, Marty or Hainsey, listen, this is what's going on. I think in the bigger picture, it's great for the NHLPA and the players, Commie.
Yeah, I think so too. And like one thing to kind of get straight, because it kind of comes out a little bit online, where like, oh, the players are soft. This is, they just can't take a hard old school coach anymore. That's bullshit. Like look, I hate Babs. I think Babs is a scumbag. I enjoyed hard, like old school hard coaches who would tell me, hey, you got to be better. You're playing like a pussy. Like that would give it to me. I enjoyed that. There's a big difference between that and what Mike Babcock's doing. Going through somebody's personal cell phone and putting it on airplay, and that is completely different than like a hard old school coach. You can be hard on people and still show them like an ounce of fucking dignity and respect. And I think that's another kind of way that's just gone a little bit with some people. And it's like, man, I think there is a massive difference. I still think there's a place in the NHL for like coaches that are hard. Like, yeah, be hard on the guy in practice. Be hard on the guy in game. Be hard on the guy hockey related and him being a professional. Don't be going through his cell phone. I mean, it's not that hard. Seriously.
Yeah. I think a prime example is John Tortorella. I love Torch. He's old school. He keeps you accountable, but deep down, he's a good person. Yeah. So I still think there's room for guys like John Tortorella in this league 100%.
Commie, what do you think?
Hitch, too.
Yeah, I was going to say Hitch, too.
Same thing. I had experience with Hitch. It's like, yeah, yes, I went up and down him a couple times on the bench, and we'd be up 5-1. He's like, happy. I'm like, finally, I snap on the guy and be shut the fuck up. But he was great. Like, he would push your buttons. He made me a better player. He made a lot of guys a better player. Yeah. Now, over time, did it get old a little bit? Sure. But when you got away from the rink, like, Hitch was a good dude. Like, he cared about you. Like, he wasn't a bad guy. So, anyway, sorry, Uppy, I interrupted.
I wanted to touch on Hitch, too. But what would you say to a young player, Commie, coming up that deals with this and doesn't know who to go to talk to? Would you say, grab your captains? Because this shit, if the guy's doing something that's offside, feel like you can say something. I want to tell a young kid, go to your captain. Your captain now understands the scale of the, how this works, right? The PA has our back, but I want them to go to the captain. I don't, you should be able to go to your captain. We don't need to go to Biz, although he has a great voice, but we should be able to go to our fucking captain. But you fucking grab, if you're the assistant captain, Commie, you go up to him.
I think you 100% should be able to go to the captain,
Go to your teammate.
whatever the leadership, go to your team. You should be able to. And you would like to think, I would like to think that these guys would be like, hey, this is bullshit. This is wrong. Yeah. And they would do something about it. I would like to, it would be nice if you could take care of this shit immediately, nip it in the bud in-house, 100%.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we're looking at this situation, and I'm not sure if that happened. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if this stuff doesn't get the spit and chicklets, and if they don't back up, double and triple down, I don't know if this doesn't get swept under the rug, which is scary.
Yeah,
it is
scary.
It's honestly scary. So, like I said, you should be able to go to the captain or one of the older guys or somebody. You should be able to go to somebody and say, hey, like, this is going on. And it should, the head coach should know, like, there should be some avenue. I don't know. Right now, I might say go to spit.
Yeah. No, but Connie, what I'm saying,
go to Biz will stir the pot for you, fella.
No, but what I'm saying is, when you wear that C now, boys, there's a big responsibility to fucking deal with these issues on a real level. If that's something that's serious,
and that's the problem I have. And I hope they do some more digging on the Jenner thing and the Goudreau thing. Like, if they were forced to come out and say this, that's wrong. The captain should be able to step up for his teammates and protect these guys. But call me going back to that interview I had on Cooley's show with Babs, and I love Rick Nash. I think you play with Nasher in Columbus, right? You probably know him better.
Yeah, I love that.
I love Rick Nash.
Yeah.
And I think he's doing great things for Columbus. Babcock said in that interview that Rick Nash went to bat for him. So I just hope that maybe Nasher's not putting this on himself, because I do believe Rick Nash is a great guy and a great ambassador for the Blue Jackets and doing good things there.
Yeah. I love Nasher. I'll come out right and say it. Nash and our buddies to this day. I mean, have I been messaging him throughout this? No, I haven't. Yeah. I've left all that stuff alone. I love Nasher. Look, at the end of the day, like, here's what I don't really. At the end of the day, everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the Columbus Blue, Yarmo can sit there and, if Nasher was involved in it, JD, look, they can sit there and say they did their due diligence till they're blue in the face. End of story. They didn't fucking do. I mean, who'd they call? Bill Peters for a character reference? Like, they didn't. Okay, like, don't lie to us. Most of us aren't stupid. It's like, dude, look, you signed, you spent some money last year in the off season on free agents. Yeah. You were expected to be better. It didn't work out. You had a tough year. You weren't very good. Okay, look, there's a little heat on the general manager. You got sucked in at the end of the day. You wanted the team to be better, and you got sucked in to Mike Babcock's resume. That's what happened. Mm-hmm. Shit happened, okay? Instead of coming out and trying to fucking cover for it, for the life of me, I don't understand why Yarmo or JD yesterday didn't just say exactly that. Look, we made a mistake. We're sorry. We're going to try and make amends for this. We got sucked into his resume. This stuff went on. We're going to try and make right by this. We're moving forward. This will never happen again. And I think a lot of people would respect that. To be like, yeah, like, we all make mistakes. But when you try and just cover it up and make bullshit excuses, that's when I think some people are like, okay, like, we're not stupid here. Just be honest.
Totally. I couldn't agree with you more. And call me, moving forward now, Updog's hard on Columbus. You loved your time there. Let's be honest. They don't get a lot of national attention. They're going to get some attention because of this, good or bad. It doesn't matter. How do you think? Listen, I thought they were going to have a pretty good hockey club. I love the moves they made on the back end with Severson and Provorov. I think Fantelli is going to be a player. If Lane, do you think they can rally around this? Like, put yourself in that dressing room. Can they rally around this and say, boys, let's come out here and compete? Or do you think it just might be another dumpster sale and just blame everything? I hope they rally around it, I guess is what I'm saying, call me.
I hope so too. Like I said a little earlier, hey, look, I am now the number one Blue Jackets fan going here. I hope they do well. I think this is a great opportunity to get that organization and, like you said, rally around it, galvanize people, and be like, hey, we're getting shit on right now. Let's go out and prove some people wrong. Let's play. And like you said, they got some great pieces. I like some moves they made on the back end. By all accounts, I know he's a young kid. You don't want to throw a bunch of pressure on him, but by all accounts, this Fantilli kid is a player.
Yeah.
He had some guys that had down years last year. Maybe they come back. So I'm with you, Obi. I hope they rally around this, and I hope they have a great year. I really do.
I might jump back on the bandwagon too now.
Oh, we
Get
might
back
just,
on the wagon.
let's
Yeah,
go.
on the
We should,
wagon.
boy,
Yeah,
we should
yeah,
go
yeah.
to Columbus in the start. We
Yeah,
should
let's bring
go
it
to
back.
Columbus at the start of the year for a little Saturday night game, maybe catch a Buckeyes game or something.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
better than going in the spring. There's no, the weather sucks in the spring. Maybe we would get some fall golf there.
know. Yeah,
with
play
Tommy.
Memorial or Muirfield.
I'd like to say, fellas, I would like to join you. I would love to do that, but I got to be honest. I think my name got yanked on my email. I ain't getting any anymore. So I'll tell you what, you guys might be going to the game, and I'll see you guys right after.
Yeah, hey, listen, if you're
I've never been on the
yeah, this
alumni
guy's never
emails
been on the
anyway.
fucking emails. If you're not on there, he's not fucking on there. Hey,
I
call me.
know I was on there, but I haven't gotten any emails in a few months.
Hey, call me. So our boy Mark Prince, you know, absolutely loves you. His 3 favorite players. Thank God he wasn't a scout now. Call me. His 3 favorite players are Rhett Warner, Mike Commodore, and Shane O'Brien. So thank God he's not fucking scouting. But he put in our notes here. Is this accurate that Babs wouldn't even let Colby practice properly as a 7D man and would blow the whistle down every chance Colby would start a drill?
Oh, yeah. 100% true. So, every single time. So, let's say we were doing, a 2-on-1 drill. I'm the 7th D. So, I'm like, I'm going to go 7. So I would go. And, it's always 2 times through or whatever. So, I would get to go once. And then it would go again. The 6 guys would go twice. It'd be my turn. Blow the drill down. I'm like, dude, this is a joke. This guy won't even let me practice. Honestly, I would say through all the bullshit, I am, in a way, I'm grateful for my time in Detroit because I met some great people. Babs, I was like, after the first 3 weeks, I'm like, man, this is it for me. I tell you what, I'm not going to let this guy make me miserable, like a miserable person. So I just made the most of it. I had great times on the ice with Pavel Datsyuk. He always did that one-on-one shit in the neutral zone, and I was like his number 1 partner. So I couldn't wait for that because I'm like, let's go, Pav. But yeah, that is exactly true. He wouldn't even let me practice. I mean, there was one game where he it was such a joke. So we were on the island, and I'm not playing. I mean, this guy was literally calling guys up from the minors to keep me scratched. So I'm not playing. Anyways, 3 hours before the game, my phone's ringing. I'm just laying in bed, and Pav was sick, so we're gonna go with 7D. There was nobody else to play, and the game was in 3 hours. So Mike, you got to get over here. So I get over there, I put my stuff on. I'm like, okay, perfect. This is a chance or whatever. I got to do something. I sit on the bench the entire first period, not one shift.
Fuck.
The entire second period. Not one shift. Halfway through the second, I'm like, obviously I'm not playing. I'm like, man, my feet are killing me.
Yeah.
So I undo my skates, and I took one of them off because I'm like, Hamonic saw this. He was playing for the Islanders. I think he was a rookie. I am checked out. We go into the second intermission. We were losing the game. I think we were getting kind of pounded. Anyways, Babs pulls me aside as I'm walking into the dressing room, and he's like, hey, take your shit off, get a bike ride in. I'm like, yeah, sounds good, Babs. These guys all go out. I take my shit off. Third period's going. These trainers come running in. I'm on the bike spinning the tires there a little bit. And trainers come running in. They're like, hey, Babs. Hey, Tommy, what are you doing? I go, what do you mean, what am I doing? He's like, Babs is all over the radio right now screaming about where you are. You were supposed to play. I'm like, hey, fellas, Babs specifically told me to take my shit off and pedal this bike. I go, you tell him to kiss my ass. I ain't coming back out there. It's too late. And that's the kind of shit he would pull. And then as soon as I got in on the bus after the game, right, with Tim and Ken Holland sitting up front, Babs would try and embarrass me in front of Ken. And I stopped right there. I go, tell you what, Babs, don't pull your bullshit with me. You told me to take my shit off and ride the bike. So that's exactly what I did. Don't fucking lie in front of these guys. And he just kind of shut up. I went to the back and was high-fived with a couple of guys because they loved it. What a fucking experience.
That's a bad guy.
Buddy, that reminds me of the shit I went with Harley. They're the same kind of shit, man. But you think you let you practice maybe because you get roasted on a 2-on-1 or something. You might be like, oh, see, call me. That's why you're not playing.
Get the boys
right,
make them feel
hey,
good.
You stink. Datsyuk just went backdoor to Zetterberg. That's why you're not playing, bud. I knew Harley.
Yeah, he wouldn't even let me practice. I was out there wearing I made the most of it. I was out there. I think after probably a month, I put a visor on for fun, and I did. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try this visor that Ovechkin wears. So I'm out there in a tinted visor. I mean, I just kind of had fun. And the guys fucking loved it because they knew what was going on. It was it didn't matter what happened. Like, I wasn't playing until finally January. But yeah, it was a total catastrophe, and I knew it right away too.
So did you finish off the year? Like, did you start playing in the second half, or how did it end for you there? I can't quite remember. How did it come to it? Did you finish the year?
Yeah, it's not memorable. So 2 days we went in. We had a game on December 22nd against Vancouver, and December 23rd in Vancouver, and then back-to-back. The second one was in Calgary. So I'm like, I'm not playing. So, like, we go on the road, and I'd be like, all right, who do I know in town here? Let's get it going here a little bit. And I work hard every day. Babs wouldn't let me practice, but I'm like, look, I'm gonna work my ass off. So I'd run the stairs to Joe, and I would do my own thing, and I would just go about my business. So we went into Vancouver, and we got spanked like 5-0. And I didn't know this till after. I was sitting on the plane about to pour myself a big glass of wine because we're going to Calgary. Like, I'm going out, and Babs comes back. He's like, "Hey, call me." And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "You're in tomorrow." And I literally laughed. Like, "Oh yeah, because you're in." It walks back up to the front. Bertuzzi and Cleary, they're like, you're in. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, man, I haven't played in forever. Like, I'm a little nervous right now. So anyways, what I ended up finding, what happened, was Ken Holland pulled Mike Babcock aside on the tarmac before we got on the plane and said, I don't give a shit. And he never did this, but he stood up for me a little bit. It's like, I don't give a shit if we have to scratch Nick Lidstrom tomorrow. Mike is playing. So I played against Calgary. I played well, got in a fight or whatever. Like, I was just keeping it simple, as simple as can be. And I'm just like, get it out, take the body, this and that. Don't turn it over.
Stick on puck.
And I played pretty good. Stick on puck, big time.
Stick on puck.
Changes too.
Hit the low and slow guy.
Go, boys. Go.
Yeah. Come on, Nick, you can come back out here. And I ended up playing well. So Babs let me play probably like, I want to say it was like 12 or 14 games in a row, and then it got back to the scratch thing, and then Ken traded me to Tampa.
I forgot you played in Tampa.
The end of the road.
Cup of coffee in Tampa, yeah.
I'm in Vladivostok.
Well, Colm, you had a great career, obviously. You mentioned Dan Cleary. I went to Newfoundland for the first time with this beauty. First of all, you've been to St. John's, obviously, right?
Remember, was not this summer, the last summer for Dan Cleary's hockey school.
What a spot, buddy. What a spot.
Oh, man.
Holy shit.
Oh. Were you guys there for that George Street Festival?
No, we just missed it after an Ireland trip. But my folks' house is up near where Danny's hockey school is. So my dad actually went over for a day and saw him this past year. But that was the first time I got him in loop screeched in. And we sent it on a Monday night. Shamrocks, live tunes.
Yeah, it almost feels like its own little country, eh, Call Me? Like, everyone's like the live music and people. It's our pace to play, Call Me. Everyone's just getting banged up.
Oh, it was great. Yeah, I loved it there. I was there for 8 nights. Danny's no dummy. He sets up his hockey school. He's got like a select camp, and then like the hockey school, and he always has a guy or two in. Like Todd Bertuzzi's gone, I've gone. He's had other guys. So he had me in, and so he's invited me, and I'm like, Dan, I'll come. I've never been to Newfoundland. I'm like, please have me. He's like, you're in to get you a flight in there, and I think I'm going in there for like, 3-4 days or something. I was there for 9 days, 8 nights, and his hockey school, like general hockey school portion of it, is right during George Street. So you can imagine how that was, but it was awesome. Like Danny took us, we'd go to the rink, be with the kids, do some stuff every day, but then a lot of the day, Danny would take me to Kitty Bitty and these different places. I went fishing with Dan's old man, which, like, I hate fishing. I've tried it before, like years ago, never caught anything. So I'm like, I'm done with this. Like, I'm like bad luck for the boat. Like, nobody's catching fish on the boat.
You caught a buzz, though, didn't you? You catch a buzz out there at least?
Oh, it was unbelievable. I mean, I caught the biggest fish of the day. I was so pumped. Every time it was like, literally, you couldn't not catch fish, and it was so much fun. So Dan always invites me out. I got to go back out. But I will say that 9 days in Newfoundland, by the end of it, I'm like, oh, my God. I came back, and people are like, Jesus, are you okay? I'm like, Newfoundland.
Hey, give me an eye.
People are out of their minds.
They're out of their minds. This is a Monday night there, Call Me. Everyone was just getting pinned. I was loving it. Loving it.
Yeah, it's our little Ireland.
It's a cool spot. They're good people.
9 days.
They're good people there.
9 days would be a lot, though. You'd be like, get me off this fucking island. Yeah.
I was ready to go. By the end of it, I had a great time. It was awesome. I met a lot of great people, great food. The bars were awesome. I got screeched in twice. I don't know why that happens. But I tell you what, by the time I'm like, dude, I got to get home. and get on some waters here. But it was fun.
Get an IV in you. Get an IV in you.
Yeah.
Hey, Commie, listen, buddy, you're an absolute legend. We appreciate you coming on. Hey, Clear the Crease podcast. You and Razor, and who are you doing that with? It's good stuff you guys are doing. How do you know Razor? I love Razor.
You know what? It's me, Andrew Raycroft Razor, and then James Savolsky.
Yeah.
Whom I've met James. I've never even met Razor in person, other than playing against them. So yeah, you know what? It's just a fun little podcast. It's quick. We do a couple topics twice a month. It all kind of came together through Bodog, kind of the gambling company in Canada, the sister company of Bovada. So they wanted to do a podcast, and so we just have a little fun with it. It's very light, and it's been fun. It's been good.
Yeah, it's good stuff, Commie.
We appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, man, we got to get you back on throughout the season, buddy. You're a fucking beauty.
Yeah, thanks a lot, boys.
Keep her rocking, buddy.